Okay, which is a quick video on how we can do some retraining exercises for individuals with knee pain. Okay, so we're talking about knee pain. We're dealing specifically with two problems, okay, oftentimes, right? One is we get this sort of anterior translation of the kneecap, okay, where people come forward, with each step or with each lunge or squat, whatever they're doing, their knee comes excessively over their toe and they start to load the knee a lot, okay? So we start to feel pain because we're using the knee as more of a hinge, creates what are called shearing forces of the knee. Okay, so with every step, my knee's coming forward excessively, or when I squat down, I'm squatting with my knees versus sticking my butt out. Okay, and again, or if I'm lunging in the gym, the knee comes way out over the toe, that kind of thing. With this specifically, what you're going to find is you're going to screen somebody and they won't have a hip hinge. So they're just naturally going to squat down like this, okay? And now the key with that too is that I don't want to coach them into a hip hinge, because then we're kind of just teaching them to do we're biasing the test, if that makes sense, okay? So if somebody does this, okay, that's a tell for this, okay? That gives us an idea that this might be their normal strategy, okay? And so when we go to teach them something else, we say to them, all right, so now I want you to just stick your butt out and keep your weight in their heels. They'll be like, okay. Like they won't know what you're talking about because they're not used to that. So it's just their default is to go back to that. So instead, what I'm going to tell them is, okay, so I've got this chair here. Okay, so what I want you to do, we call this a box squat. Okay, I just want you to stick your butt out and sit down in the chair. Now stand up. Stick your butt out and stand up. And the reason this drill is so valuable is there's absolutely no subjectivity to it. Okay, I don't have to give them a bunch of cues. I don't have to coach them into anything. Either they sit down or they do this and they bust their butt. Okay, and that's also called that's an exercise I learned from a guy named Stu McGill, who called it a potty squat, because either you sit down in the potty or really bad things happen. You know what I mean? So that's not where we want to be. So with that, you can just have them do this. Even if they are forward on their toes, you can tell them, okay, I want you to step out. Get your feet a little bit wider. Now stand up. Okay, you kind of readjust them as they sit up and down. And I coach for a little bit of a forward lean. Stand up tall, stick your butt out like that. All right. Now here's the key with that too, as well, is as they get better, then we want to make it more active. So we're just going to coach a touch and go. And as they get better, at our facility we have plyo boxes, so we're just going to move them down. So for me, I'm going to still use something for them to sit back to, because this gives them a reference point so they keep understanding this is the type of squat that I want. So I'm just going to move down to, smaller plyo boxes until they can squat to 90 on their own without assistance per se. Okay, so that's thing one. Now, if you're teaching a lunge, okay, similar in the sense that we want to give them some feedback as to what not to do. Okay, so in a lunge or a split squat, what you'll see a lot is somebody whose body will be coming forward. Okay, so they'll be leaning forward here. So what I do is I set up next to a wall or a chair and I tell them, okay, your goal is very simple. As a coach, you can also use your hand. I say, all right, knee behind the chair. Okay, so they're just going to drop straight up and down like so. And with this, again, there is no subjectivity to it, really. Either you do it or you don't do it. And that's, when we're teaching beginners, that's one of the big things is, they'll clean up pretty quick when it's illustrated to them, when they see like, this is clearly not right, this is what right feels like. So we give them physical pushing into that position to get them to where they want to be. Okay, so that's a good cue for that. Now, the other thing that you're going to see is we're going to have people to squat and their knees come together. Okay, so they're doing this, okay? And you'll see it when they run or cut. If they cut from this position and they go to load their hip in a cut and turn, if they come too far in, that's one of the mechanisms for an ACL tear. So some ways that we can coach this or coach them out of it is what is called RNT. Okay, so if you're in the world of physical therapy, you have TheraBands. The world of performance, we have mini bands. Okay, so mini bands, just something that we put around people's ankles to do what are called band walks. Okay, so with this, okay, just put the band right below my knees here. All right, what you see here is the band is trying to pull me in. Okay, so I'm actually exaggerating the compensation. Okay, so again, this is the idea of pushing them into the position. So clearly this is not right. And so instead of squatting down like this, because you're not going to get very far, I tell the person, all right, I want you to stick your butt out, or I want you to not let this band pull you in. I want you to push your knees out. And they're, oh, I see. Okay, so again, it gives them an idea of, clearly this is what I do, if we're dealing with valgus. Now, if you see my knees here, I don't need to do this because I'm in varus So I'm the opposite. So this is not something that I would do per se, but for somebody with this compensation that we see in a squat, that's definitely something that we want to look at. I can also combine the two by just having them, this is almost like a standing glute bridge, the exercise that we did in our practical, in the sense that butt out, butt in, you get the same cues. Squeeze at the top, push your knees out, squeeze at the top, push your knees out. Now, if we're coaching a lunge, okay, or if we're coaching, valgus on a single leg, okay, RNT is something that we could do with a band, okay? So I'm just gonna set this up here, okay, so with this, I now have this stretch bands here, okay, and what the stretch band is gonna do is exaggerate my compensation in a certain direction. Turn this so you can actually see me better here, but so I'd put my knee in the band, hold on. And the band is actually trying to pull my knee inward, okay? So it's the same idea. I'm doing split squats. I don't want to do split squats where my knee is collapsing in, so instead I cue the client, all right, push your knee out, come up and down. Okay, so again, they get the idea of, okay, this is what it looks like, this is what it feels like. And again, it'll start to just turn on the muscles reflexively, and so eventually, they'll have that stuff. They won't need to do that anymore. It'll just be their natural pattern. And then you'll start to see the stuff that we do in the gym or in training will start to, the cues that we give them, will also start to carry over into their daily lives, whether it be cutting, running, or just walking around, and we want to make sure that they're aware of that as well. What we do in the gym doesn't stop in the gym. The same cues apply in life. Making them aware of that is a big part of this process as well.